Hello, family. I'm not going to hold you very long. I just wanted to mention something to you. I'm in a loud area, but I guess it really doesn't matter. This month is Mental Health Awareness Month. I want to mention it to you because, our mental health is just as important as our physical health. And it's actually in our spiritual health is related to our mental health. So many of us who are minorities have a real issue with the word mental and mental health. As far back as slavery, our women have did what they had to do in order to survive, and they took on this thing about strength. Strength not showing any emotions to make it. Strength not showing tears. Strength not allowing pain to touch them. And they've passed it on through generations until the generations came that we didn't have that kind of strength. One day someone pulled me aside. I was going through something, and they said, "Cheryl, Jesus Christ even wept." I was at a point in my life I couldn't cry about some things that were really bothering me because I had that same mentality. See, the people who are, I'd say many of us, our seniors who are in their 80s and in their 90s, they grew up with parents born of slavery and before that had to take on this strong mentality role. And they passed it on until we said, enough already. We can't do that. We don't have that kind of energy. They would help those who were in trouble or going through bereavement or whatever. But they couldn't allow themselves to grieve or mourn or hurt or ache. And, we found out that when you hold all this stuff in time, it affects your health. Some people are dealing with diabetes because they've kept all this stress inward. Cancer, a number of illnesses that people will have or have had because they've allowed themselves to hold their stress in, thinking that they were doing the world a favor. There are a lot of people who have ended up having to go to see psychologists, social workers, and even psychiatrists because they had no one to talk to or didn't feel comfortable enough to reveal what was going on in their lives. There are some health issues that people suffer so much and in pain so much that they develop mental health issues. There are certain illnesses that can bring on mental health issues that need to be addressed, and it's nothing wrong with seeing a counselor. It's nothing wrong with seeing a psychologist or a psychiatrist. Some people inherit mental illness, and I'm not just talking about having an issue and trying to deal with it, but they inherit imbalances in their bodies and in their minds where they need to be on medication for the rest of their life. Some people are bipolar or schizophrenic or different illnesses that they cannot help. But however, they should take their medications in order to try to keep some balance. I don't understand what it is and why it is some people will not take their medication, but that's the only way they can function in a way that they can make it in society, and they will not take those medications. There are some people that go through things that cause them to have a mental imbalance, and just to take medications for just a brief period of time will help. And there are some people who may have not ever needed to even see a counselor, but they had no one to talk with because they didn't feel that they could share what was on their heart with people that they loved and want them to keep this a secret, and before they could leave the door good, they are telling everybody their business. You have to do what you have to do to have a good mental health. It's important to be physically well. It's important to be mentally well. If you're struggling, sometimes it just helps to talk to someone that you can trust and talk to them and until you can work it out, and then you'll feel better. Sometimes if you bereave, if you would just allow yourself to cry and cry, there's no certain set of time for bereavement. But sometimes we hold this in, and where someone else have cried, screamed, and hollered and gone about their business, someone is still bereaved 10 to 15 years later and haven't had the opportunity to look back and enjoy the memories they've had with loved ones. And when you find yourself in trouble, that's what you call being in trouble. When you find yourself in trouble, get help, get support, get counseling, get even a biblical counselor. You know, but sometimes you need medication temporarily. Sometimes you don't need any medication. You just need to talk it out or cry it out so you can have good mental health. It's important. Our mental health is important. Sometimes we need great mental health just to deal with some of the things we hear in life. Sometimes we just need a shoulder to cry on. A support system of sisters and brothers and friends who you could just talk about it. And sometimes you can sit down and share with one another what you all are going through. And then you know you're not the only person going through something. And you're not alone in your struggles and trials and tribulations. But God is there. It's more than great to have that support system with God. You can pray to Him. You can talk to Him in your struggles. You can call on Him when you can call on no one else. But He put us out here so we can lean on one another to support one another as well. Don't keep so much stuff inside because it's not good for you. It's not good for your physical health. When your mental health is in jeopardy, it jeopardizes your physical health. When your physical health is in jeopardy, it jeopardizes the functionality of you having a great mental ability to handle your situation. So it's important to have good mental health and good physical health. This is Mental Health Awareness Month. Remember those things. You're not crazy if you see a counselor. You're not crazy if you talk to your minister. You're not crazy if you go to your sisters in Christ. You're not crazy if you go to your best friends and talk it out. Because if you go to a therapist, that's what you're going to do. You're going to talk it out, and they're going to find applicable ways to instruct you and lead you into talking it out. That's the bottom line. You're going to talk it out until you can work it out. Don't stress yourself out on things that's not necessary to do so. Take care of your mental health. Thank you.